what are they doing? A lot of them have promos. You don't have to go very hard to find the promotions that they're providing. For example, in our town right now, in the Boise area, there's a builder advertising a 2.99% interest rate. And so I can advertise that to my clients. I can send a simple email that just says, "Hey, I'm not sure if you're interested, but I thought this was too good of information to share. You can currently buy a home in our town for 2.99%. Do you know anyone? Would you or anyone you know be interested in finding out more information?" And so you grab these different things, and you might have known about this for years because builders have been offering incentives for ever since the rates went up. 3 years ago, builders have been offering incentives, but they're getting more and more aggressive because they want to win and they want to make sure they're moving product. So that's a MOFR right there. That's
Well,
a
and
pretty
by giving a
simple.
lower interest rate, it protects their values too. Like they don't,
Correct.
they are dropping their prices. We looked at some builders yesterday when we were doing some market analysis, and it was like, holy cow, they've dropped 10% in the last, seems like 6 months. And so, but they don't want to do that. They want to do everything they can to not do that because obviously that protects their margins. So they would rather give pre-purchase interest rates up front and give incentivized interest rates to get people to buy. So yeah, you get to leverage that in your messaging. Now, someone calls and they don't want to buy that builder's house. So now 2.99 isn't an option. What position are you in because they called? And let's say they don't want that, but
Yeah.
now you're talking to them.
Yeah. Well, first of all, now you're talking to them. That's the game, right? You're finally talking to them. So you're already 80% better than you were. So what do you do now? I mean, I think there's a number of things. One, I would partner with a local lender that you like and you've done business with and ask them like, hey, if someone comes in and they can't take advantage of this because they don't like that builder or don't like the area or they don't provide what they want, what can we do? And, I mean, we know, and I don't want to nerd out too much, but like we know that we can go negotiate on a resale home and ask them for seller concessions, and we can use those seller concessions to buy the rate down if we need to. That's the most important thing. So,
well, here's the thing. And the message I want to get across to agents is the better you get at moving away from solving their problem and moving into understanding why they even want to move in the first place, it's a better position to be in. Because, for instance, if they're like, well, yeah, I wanted a 2.9 rate. And you're like, well, okay, let's talk about like other ways we can get your rate down, right? Now you're in this problem solving mode. And let's say you can work out the numbers to get them to an affordable payment or a rate, but in their head they hear 4.9, and they're just like, yeah, that's just not going to work for me. Well, if you take that off the table, you have them, you're now talking to them, you put them through what we call the motivational framework, and you figured out what it is that's actually causing them to want to move. Like, no kidding, want to move. Not like, hey, I need a bigger yard, but like, when I was younger, I had a yard to run in and my kids don't have that and I want them to have that, whatever. You find that out, and then it turns into, well, hey, if we could find a way to make that work and keep your housing budget close to the same as where it's at now, would you want to buy today? You ask the rubber meets the road question. And if it's like, if they say no, for whatever reason, hypothetically, well, then the problem solving wouldn't have done anything anyways. So you wasted a ton of time. So I think
and
the goal is to move into the motivation framework as soon as possible.
Well,